my friends, to the show that never ends. Oh, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number 1 in the chat box to let me know that you can, I would greatly appreciate it. Please don't use the Q&A or the raising hands because I don't get to see that most of the time. I'm very hyper-focused on a handful of things to try to make this a success. Hey, Brenda. We should be good now, Lee. There we go. Yep. All right. Morning, Helen. Erica, how are you? Lots of ones. I definitely appreciate it. I can hear you. Oh, fantastic. All right. Let's see what that is there. Beautiful. Well, I hope it has been a good trading day. It has been an interesting one, that's for sure. The announcement came out dark early on Credit Suisse, right, with their buyout, U.S. Bank. So it's going to be interesting. I really cannot wait to see the details behind the deal to see if they're responsible for liabilities and old debt and all of that type of stuff, or if they were able to forego some of that or at least put a cap on it with the government for this takeover. This is the same Bear Stearns type thing that happened where all of a sudden, wham, Bear Stearns stuff starts popping up and people are suing, and there was a lot of money to be paid out because of it. Let's see. Yep, just getting started for the day, Brenda said. There you go. Hey, listen, I get it. Life gets in the way. Monday for me is the absolute worst day of the week as far as trading goes. It should be my best because there's so much activity on money pent up on Monday, pent up anxiety after the weekend of no trading, right? But I just too busy on a Monday running a business, right? Trying to get ready for this and everything else that goes on, get a few trades off, but I go right to my standards. So as we get started, keep in mind that everything we look at is for educational purposes and nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. Make sure that any trade you ever take, you check that it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance. All right. So we got a couple of things going on this week. The 20th, that would be today. We got Trading You Tonight. Mastermind Group is on the 21st. Monster Market Movers is on the 22nd, which is Wednesday. We've got our next Fibonacci topic there. We've taught 4 or 5 of them so far. We've got 1 or 2 left to do. And then that's where they're going to be housed. Everything Fib based, that's all the particular trade setups will be inside of the bonus materials in Monster Market Movers. So check it out, guys. Your very first Monster Market Movers that you attend is $49. Lee, drop that link in, please. Which you can do that, register, get access to all the previous recordings on the Fibs, right? Documents, everything that's up there. Inner Circle, we've got that down as the 27th. That's not right. That the Inner Circle check-in is tonight at 7, and then the 27th, then the 3rd if they're Mondays. Wealthwood Spreads on the 5th. So you got Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook. They're all set for this week. Key to Be Free starts mañana. I've only got 3 classes on the docket, guys. We've already had one of them get pretty close to getting filled in, filled, meaning we're at our capacity seat-wise in that class. So take advantage of it. Check it out, folks. If you truly want to know what it means this year for you to make that shift, that change, it's time to stop the BS. It's time to stop the, I'm going to do this someday. It's time to get on the train and make it happen. And that's what Key to Be Free is meant for, to help get you free. All right. So make sure you come and check that out. If you would. Paul said, what's the status plan for market warnings? We're back on, Paul. I did it again today. We sent an email out. It's rocking and rolling. It's all recorded, nothing live on it at this point. A Power Option Plays, Covered Call Explorer, E-mini, and Vegas Spreads all in their regularly scheduled program. All right, here's our followers page. Make sure you're checking out everything that we do day in and day out. And here's our manifesto, right? This is what it is to be a trading boss. And that is the goal. You all should download this. You can get it from our website. It's right on the homepage. Download this document, ingrain it in your brain. I read it out loud to myself every single day. So I'm using my eyes to read it. I'm using my lips to speak it. My ears are hearing it, right? So I've got, and I'm half Italian. Actually, according to ancestry, I am 94% European and 67 or 9% Italian. So I don't know how that happened when my dad's not Italian, but I digress. So I use my hands. That's the other sense, right? Out there. So go ahead and check it out, folks. It really helps you to understand what we feel is the most important thing for you as a trader to be part of this community and what it takes on your part to succeed. Key to be free, guys. We have crushed it last year, this year, the year before, with the strategies that I teach that I'm going to disclose to you guys in this training tomorrow, starting tomorrow, is the first one. So do not miss out on that. I'm going to put that in yet. All right. What trades did you guys do today? Drop them in. I'm going to go over the trades that I did, and we'll talk a little bit about those. Today was just very heavily focused on Google and SPY. That was it. Those were the only ones that I really spent any time, energy, effort on today, and I will share with you why. So we're going to look at Google. All right. What in the heck happened with Google today? Well, Google had a nice gap down to where it's 100-point level. I like it. Gap down to 100 and a bounce. Our rolling power option play says we do 10 contracts above 100. We do 20 contracts under 100. Well, we stretched down just under 100. I got in just around 100, but I did the 20 contracts anyway. Rub a buck. It was about $1.50 a little bit earlier. I took about 75 cents out of this trade deal, 70 cents, something like that. It's over. It's done. It was quick. It was nice. I like it very much. No option of stop out there. We just had a great bounce, great opportunity, great entry into the trade, right? So it was phenomenal. So Google was the very first one, right? Second one was on SPY. Let's go to the videotape. So I've got, let's see, the entries for me today were at 950 was my first entry on SPY. I'm just trying to set this paper up so I could see it better. So 950 candle, which came in right here, right? We had broken down, pushed up, came down, bounced. I took the entry inside of that candle, right? My first stop came out, or target came out on the next candle. And then I was stopped out of the second half of the trade there. It gave me about 50 and 20 cents, somewhere around there on that trade. Not a big deal. Next trade, we closed right at support, right at that pivot point, 91.02. Actually, our closing price there was 91.07, 5 cents above that level. And we bounced. Our low here was 90.91. So we got about 11, 12 cents down below that level. We bounced, and first entry is there, first exit is there, and then it took a little bit to move up until we got out. I got 11 o'clock there. So the first exit was about 50 cents. Second exit was $1.10. Really good setup on SPY today. And then I walked away. It was just getting a little bit too late for me. I didn't want to deal with pivot point trades at that point. A lot of those are over. All right, let's see. You're welcome, Paul. John put down, come on, guys, drop them trades in there. John put down Wheel of Fortune, Shopify, Tesla, Riot, and SPY. Naked puts on Snap. Cash flow over 2K. Awesome. Great job, John. Great job. Erica said SPY $885. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. You guys are awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Jim said 11 SPXW trades, average percent rate of return, 32.8% for $957. All right. Good job, Jim. Listen, if you can make $1,000 a day, heck, if you can make $500 a day trading the market, that's $2,500 a week. I would venture to say most, not all of you, most of you could quit your job, give it to someone who needs it, and say, I'm done. Right now, we have way too many people looking for jobs. So if you give yours up and don't go back looking for one, you're helping the country out. So be patriotic, learn how to trade, and get the heck out of this rat race and stop this insanity. There you go. Brendan said, awesome, guys. PK said, Pepsi spread from market mornings. Pepsi was a nice one, PK. I liked the upgrade for him today. Very nice. Okay. All right, not a lot of trades out there from you guys today. It's a Monday, and it is a crazy week with the Fed. I know a lot of people are concerned. We're going to talk banks. We're going to talk Fed in just a little while. for now, I really want to focus on the S&P 500 and what is happening inside of the S&P, right? Because there's a bit of concern there for me, okay? So you can see a little bit of the overall downturn, that overall bearish downward trend we had there, right? We broke out of the resistance level, got a nice bounce, good run there, pulled right back to that resistance line again, which would have been a support level, and it acted as support, and we got a nice, very nice technical bounce as it came down to there. We put in a new swing low. For those of you that are unfamiliar with swing high and swing low, right? Let me grab, I should have started this already, sorry about that. Let me grab my drawing tools. I'm not a fan of the ones that are on Zoom. It just take me a half a second or maybe 20 seconds to get them going there. You're going to see a 3, 2, 1 pop up on the screen whenever this thing finally does pop up somewhere for me. There we go. All right, let's see. Come on, come on, come on. Got a dollar waiting on a dime. Okay. So 3, 2, 1, blast off. Okay. Let me shut that volume off. All right, there we go. Silenced at this point. So, let's see. So let's get our drawing tool, and here we are. So a swing high would be, let's say you had a candle here that had a high, right? Another candle here with a higher high, and then your next candle had a lower high. Doesn't matter if this is bearish, bullish, it makes no difference. Make it a gray candle, right? Which is that angled line in there, diagonal line in the candle, right? It's a high, a higher high, and a lower high. This now becomes your swing high. No different on the downside. If these are your lows, you had a low, a lower low, and a higher low. And this low, the higher low does not have to correlate to the lower low, the first low. You could have this candle here, you could have this here, and you could have this here, right? That doesn't matter. That's still considered, that middle candle is still your swing low, right? So we have a swing low candle that set up right here on the S&P, okay? On SPX there. That was our swing low, and we had put in a new swing high right there. We backed off of it on Friday, right at the 618, right at the 8 moving average. We failed off of the 21 moving average. If we go in and we edit the chart settings, I did this on the newsletter that we put out on Sunday. If y'all are not looking at that, you need to check out that video that I put out every single Friday for you. And when I say I put it out Friday, you won't see it until Sunday, unless you know where to look for it. That's pretty easy. Just go to save the webpage and keep going back every week. It's done at Friday night, usually by 5:15. We have it published and up there, right? So if we look, they're very faint, but this light blue line, it might be too light to actually see. Let me try to change that over. Let's make this black, just so it jumps out. No, now it's going to be too close to the other color. You know what? Let me not do that. Let's change the width a little bit. I can't do. All right, so I made it very dark there. Okay, so that right there, that black line is the 233 moving average. This purplish line is the 89 moving average. So guys, we're running into the 89, into the 233. The 55 is the brown line. The 21 is there. There's a lot of resistance above our heads right now with what's going on in the market. A lot, and I mean a lot of concern of, do we break through? Now, if we do, that's awesome. Things can flip back around. We can get that bounce. Technically, we are still putting in lower highs and lower lows, right? I mean, if you look here, high, high, right? Lower high. We had a low, a low. Now we're in a little bit of an up bounce there, which is nice, it's how do we handle around that 618, that purple line, right, which is the most important fib line of anything that's out there, right, which is 39, 29, 11. You've got to be cognizant of it. You have to know what's out there. You've got to know what's coming, right, when we're getting up to those levels. I don't normally keep the 233 or the 89 open. It just scrunches the chart a little too much for me, okay? But we've got to break above that 39.6446. That's the recent swing high. And until we do, it's very easy to just get back in position one in the chair and watch. Now, the other side of that coin is, and for many, which my venture to say why most of you have not put a whole lot of trades in today, you've got the FOMC coming out on Wednesday, 2 o'clock. Are they going to raise rates or are they going to leave them the same? Yes. They're going to raise rates or leave them the same. They're not dropping them. They can't. It'd be disastrous. Right now they could, but it would be disastrous, in my opinion, if they dropped. What my thoughts are, I think that we should be raising the rate. I don't think inflation goes away. It's the only tool that we've ever used that has properly fixed it. And when I say properly, it may not be the best thing. We may be taking a blunt object to it, right? Hitting it with a hammer instead of finessing it. But it's the only tool the Fed knows how to use. So by stopping the rate hike from going up, by pausing, there's talks of irreparable damage to the economy based on that. We're getting closer and closer to recession and or stagflation, which is just very long bouts of higher unemployment rates, lower economic, growth, and so forth out there. Now, I could be dead wrong. And I'm not saying that I'm right. I don't have a clue what Powell is going to do. And I have enough issues trying to sleep at night. I really don't want to worry about the fate of the United States as a country, right? With what my decision may or may not do. Closing a bank, people losing their jobs, all that good stuff, right? But that's why they pay him the big bucks, I guess, is that. And it's actually not even there. Realize that leaving that job, he basically writes his own ticket wherever he goes, right? Between his contacts that he has globally, not just in the government, in business, between his contacts and having that position before, literally, as much, if not more power than the president when it comes to the growth or stagnation of this country. He can answer to Congress, but I don't think there's a whole lot they can do to him without some major things having to take place. Right now, we've got to be careful because of Wednesday. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are skittish to take a trade right now because of the Fed, and that's okay. It may not be a bad idea to get back in position one in the chair and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to watch. I'll wait until after 2:30, and I'll make a decision from there. Keeping in mind, why did I say 2:30? The announcement is at 2 o'clock. 2:30 is going to be the conference call, right? Where Powell has a conference, answers questions on what's going on in the economy, what they see, and so forth. A little bit above and beyond what they announce at the 2 o'clock when he gives the rate change out there. So will he drop? I don't believe there's any chance of drop. I haven't not looked at percentage of rate hike. Let's see, we got a lot in here. Trip, can you give me the percentages on the rate hike, please? Let's see what we guys got in here. All right, good. And Erica said, watch the video yesterday on from the weekend update from our Traders Market Intelligence report, and said, I really think you're right on recession and stagflation. So check it out, guys. I mean, we do it every week. It's a great help to me. I love doing it because it sets me up in my head for what I'm looking at over the weekend already. Okay, into for the thought process into next week. All right, and Lee just sent out put a link out there that you guys can click on to open up. Right. So if we head back over here right now, we look at some bigger term picture. We're looking at the weekly on the S&P. We definitely have gone into a sideways mode right here for the last couple of months, back into October, late October, early November. Right. And if we look at a monthly, we have just been sideways, big swing up and down in the month. But we've been sideways now for the last bunch of months. So breaking out of a downtrend by going sideways is not really Yeah, I like this market. We're really not making a decision, kind of blah. Right. If we go back to the daily chart, which of course is our primary that we focus on, you could see that there has definitely been some chop. That is a question I get over and over and over again. It's a conversation that we have in my own mastermind that I am part of, that I am a member of, one of my two masterminds in particular, that we have this conversation regularly because more than one of us are coaches in our own business, where we promote, stock market education programs. And myself, others are hearing the exact same things. It is a damn tough market right now to do well in. And you are right. It is a tough market because of the whipsaws. The other day on the Dow, I saw something. We were up 280 points and down 350 or something. I forget the exact numbers, but it was about 300 up, 300 down in the day. If you're on the wrong side of that, or you get the whip, 50 points up, 30 points down, and you're just whipping back and forth, it's almost impossible to not get your head handed to you. I'm going to take the bearish trade. Oh, it whipped against me. Let me flip it around and go bullish now. Oh, it whipped against me again. It's almost impossible to get on the right side of that, right? And those days happen, and regularly with this type of market. Do we have some strong moves? We do, but look at the wicks. If you just check out, even look here, right? Look at this candle. This was back from Tuesday of last week, right? Look at that wick. Nice body, good bounce, good gap up. We stretched up to the 618. We came down almost down to the 764, right? Life is good. We settle in the middle somewhere. Body's closer to the higher end of the overall candle. That's great. Here you had the gap down and a stretch, right? Were you on the wrong side of that? And you get the whip to the upside. We gapped down here, went up a little bit, failed, came back to the fib line, broke out, right? We look at today. Oh, I think it's going to break to the upside, and it's given so much back from its highs today. We were at 39.56 as a high, and right now we're at 39.26. That's 20 points on the S&P 500. 20 points. And if we look, go back there. Let's go to SPX. Let me bring it in. Oh, monkey. All right, there we go. All right. So whip candles, long wicks. Finally started to get some legs in here, much smaller bodies and wicks, right? And then a nice collapse off of that 39.5218 level, right? Which was not the first time we tested, tapped, and failed off of it. Right. So it's a matter of being on the right side. Again, I said this earlier, don't ever take a trade. I don't care who gives it to you. Myself, Warren Buffett, don't ever take it unless it fits your own personal risk profile. And if you're not sure what that is, then you need to figure out exactly how risk profile works, right? What risk are you willing to take as a trader? What prevents you from sleeping at night? What is your maximum dollar amount that you're willing to risk in your account on any one trade? Right. So again, we'll kind of do a quick synopsis of it. You have $5,000 in your trading account. You probably should be doing 2 to 4 equal dollar trades. Right. So $1,000 to $2,500 a trade. Right. And 2 is probably too small. It's too low. It's probably 3 to 5. You're probably doing 3 to 5 trades. So maybe $1,000, $800 per trade. Right. Rob, if I look at Booking, I can't buy an option on Booking for $1,000. Okay, see, now you got the point. Booking is not one you should trade. Oh, but it's going through the roof today. So other stocks. Don't worry about one stock. If a Booking moves $20 a day, $30, $50 a day, Apple moves $1.50. Google, God, it only moves 90 cents, $1.25. Okay, but let it fit your risk profile. Don't base your trade on the number of contracts, base the trade on the number of dollars. How many dollars do you want to put into a trade? Okay, $1,000 per trade is my max. Great. 1,000, right? So you do 3 equal dollar trades at $1,000, okay? On one company, that might mean 3 contracts. Another one, it might mean 1. Someone else might mean 15, right? Equal dollar trades. Any one of them goes against you, if you're using the similar risk management profile on your position, you're greatly reducing your risk in that trade. Right? And that risk should be based on how much the stock moves and so forth, right? So again, fitting into that profile of who you are. If you take a trade on and you can't sleep at night, that trade and or company might not be the right one for you. Right? Everything has to be where you're comfortable with it. If you're not, get away. Exit out, call it a day, walk away, leave it be. All right. Let's see. All right. Thank you, Trip. I appreciate it. Trip had typed it in. I'm just seeing it now. And then Jim came in right behind it. 26.9% for no increase and a 73% chance for a quarter point. All right. So the data is still pointing to an increase. Only a quarter. I would have expected a half. Only a quarter. And I'm okay with that. But I think it winds up being better for economy. I think the Fed must, and this is where we're not really hearing the talk about, right? Because what are the newscasters worried about? Ratings, more people watching, clickbait, right? This news announcement said the market's going to hell. We're going to die. We're all going to die. Horrible world. Right? Trying to do Wicked Witch from Dorothy. Anyway, right? They're not focused on, the Fed has other tools to help protect and shore up those banks and should be immediately reaching out to those banks. FDIC should be reaching out to those banks and go, all right, time out, baby. What are you doing right now? Open the books up. We need to see everything. Yeah, we're your regulatory board. We need to see everything. Show us, right? So we don't wind up in another SPV, scenario, Silicon Valley Bank, scenario of what happened there, right? Credit Suisse, who's been in horrible shape for a very long time. Now, I don't know what happened with the $2 billion that the Swiss government was going to give them. I don't know where that money went. I didn't read any further up on it. But they were in a bailout already from last week, over the weekend, and you heard more stories on it. But this one came out from yesterday, right? From last night. So there are things you can do to protect yourself, but you need to know what you're willing to risk. And if you don't know that up front, you go, I'll take a shot on this stock today, on Apple, on Google, on Costco, on whomever, Netflix, NVIDIA, Tesla, can be fairly volatile stocks with great options pricing, by the way, right? You just decide to jump in on that and you have no idea how much it moves, no idea how much you're willing to risk. You're taking on unnecessary risk into your account and into your financial life, okay? I had put out there, it's out there somewhere. I went and took the 12 steps from AA, and I took those 12 steps, and you should consider doing the same thing. Rewrite them for yourself, for trading, right? I realize that I am not in control of the market. The market moves the way the market moves. I am just riding along the coattails, and I am in control of my family's finances, and I need to make sure that I am focused on what's happening, meaning putting in my stops, having my targets in, having a system in place, right? Rewrite those 12 steps for yourself and use that to help not blame you for what's happened to you in the past in the market, but to help protect you going forward. Because once you blow your account up, you may have the desire and the drive and you're working to get the money put back away to do it again. But man, you do that 2 or 3 times, it is freaking hard, right? It is hard. Most people do not have the gumption, the drive, or the loving spouse to allow them to do that again. All right, let me see what else we got here. So Elsa, I do not have a video for the pivots. These pivots that I have on here are proprietary. They're not mine. Someone in my mastermind group created them, and I don't have it. There's all kinds of wacky stuff in the background of this. I just use the pivot itself. So no, I do not have a video for setting those up because I don't know how to get them. TradeStation, guys, listen, I think TradeStation is moving the wrong direction, personally, okay? They knocked out, they made their education now as a paid education platform. They have knocked out all of the free indicators. If you're not paying them to have indicators on their website, you can't have the free ones up there. They're gone. They took them out, right? And they disabled them. I had a pivot point indicator that worked okay, Person's pivots, and you still can get them. You go to Person's You go search person pivots. I'm pretty sure you can still download them for TradeStation, but you got to jump through hoops. There was no hoops to jump through here, right? But it's a little bit more of a trick. So I think TradeStation's moving the opposite direction, away from customer service, and their customer support's never been good. When you call and they tell you it's too late, or you got to send a message and we'll make an appointment, crazy. You know, when it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Excuse me, it should not be happening. Okay. Let's see. FOMC. It seems like forever since a swing trade has been taken in pop. Oh yeah, PK. Excuse me. It absolutely is. It's been, God, I bet you it's close to a year. I bet it's close to a year. Let's see. We go look at pop. We haven't taken one this year. All right, let's see where this spreadsheet opens up. Which tab are you going to open up on? There we go. Okay. So close trades. All right. So this was last year. Power option plays. The last swing trade we did was September 28th on Apple. We got out of the final exit on April 3rd. And we wound up being up $3,000 on that trade. So not as far back as I thought. It just seems like a forever. Brenda, what stock are we talking about? I'm sorry, I didn't see it when you first wrote it. Erica said, so wondering with the bank collapse, is that the reason Bitcoin pushed to 28K preview? Yes, it is. So Erica, Bitcoin is non-regulated by the government. It's an alternative investment. It takes your money out of the bank, gives you something else to invest in. I think there was a run on the coin. The Bitcoin gurus are talking it up. You need to buy, It's going to 100,000 again, which I don't believe it is. But I think that there's some hype right now into Bitcoin. So it's all because of the banks and not wanting to put your money in the banks. Yeah, Tripp said, Wall Street Journal said UBS is buying Credit Suisse for over $3 billion. Yep. You're right, Erica. He is. Erica said, Tasty is the best. I'm leaving TradeStation. Here's my problem with Tasty, unless they have fixed it, because I have an account. Right? I haven't placed a trade in there in probably over almost 2 years now. You cannot set an order up to get out of an option based on the stock price. Those of you that are using Tasty, tell me if they fixed it, because they were working on it. But they're working on it is, listen, you know how long it takes programmers to do things. In other words, don't ask. We'll tell you when it's finally ready. And I've not kept up with the upgrades that they've done. But that's my only issue with them. All right, so okay, John, I'm just going to read it. Jim said, you don't need to teach, you do not teach this, but I put fibbits in between the daily fib lines on SPY. On SPY, there's a 397.97 fib. Let's go find that. Let's go to SPY. I think I clicked on the bar. Not PY, SPY. All right, so Jim's saying a 397, 393.97, 393. So I don't have that line, Jim. Let's see. So is that what you're talking about, the Fibit inside of here? 393.94, you got 393.04. Okay, so right there. 7 cents, but then reverse. Also, your trading clock shows a yellow area of possible reversal zone from 11:30 to 12 o'clock. Very cool. Okay, yeah, so that trading clock, listen, guys, I have one here in my office at home. The office, if you watch me when I do the recordings from the office, right now I'm not in our office because they're doing construction on the room next to us, the suite next to us, and we've got a disaster in the office. It's just, the dust is everywhere. I refuse to to breathe that in and sit and work through it and so forth. But right behind me in the recording studio area is a trading clock. It's right over my shoulder. And I also have one when I'm sitting teaching in that system, like if I was right now, all the way on the wall to this side of the room is another trading clock hanging up there. So wherever we look, there's a clock that can tell you, hey, this is what's going on market-wise. And it really is a good check for you. You know, ideally, you hang it right above. I would have to, literally, this would have to be me to see the clock. That's how I would have to look up because of where my monitors go. My monitors come to, I don't even know if you can see the top of my hand, but it's about a foot, 16 inches above my head is where the monitors come to the top of. So I would have way up on the wall to put it right here. Very uncomfortable. I'd rather do this, and I can see the zone very quickly of where we're at, okay? But it is cool, Jim, how a lot of these things all come together. TradeStation customer service is horrible. I agree, Erica. They're not good at all. Paul said they have not. I have the same complaint. Okay, and that's my only hesitancy with them. I do like Tastyworks. Same singular account, multiple things you could trade in there, stocks, futures, and so forth, right? I resemble that part. And Erica, listen, I'm not trying to talk you out of Tasty. I like Tasty. If they could do that, man, they got a rocking platform. They do. I would probably still use a TradeStation or somebody for some of my charting. I like some of the indicator sets a little bit better, the charting a little better, but overall, I like Tasty. Order placement, all of that is good, right? They're pretty fast on getting their entries filled. I haven't seen a lot of manipulation going on there with order entry or order fill, I should say, orders being filled, okay? All right. So SPY last Tuesday, you said, Brenda. So which wick came first? I mean, we would have to look at an intraday chart. That's the 14th, right? So if we look at the 14th on SPY, and it's too far back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a 30-minute chart and just try to get a better idea in a bigger time frame. So this is the 14th. So the up wick came before the down wick. Right? So it was a nice swing up and then a good pull back and then a bounce. So that's what I'm talking about. Nice move up, gave it all back, and then we make a bounce back up to, we almost get back to where we were. You know, it's just horrible. The way that it sets up, it's just not good at all. All right, so let me bring us over to today's topic, which is don't bank on the banks. Now, again, my topics come in on Wednesday. We get links prepared, emails ready. We're going to talk about, you know, that we could send out to everybody to let them know what's going on. Great timing, right? With the banks, what's happening with the banks right now. But we had here, if I go over, I've got it on TradeStation. Where is my TradeStation now? Okay. So, PACW. Right? PacWest Bank, right? They're up 70 cents. WAL, WAL, they were up earlier today. You know, they've given it back. UBS is up 78 cents. Credit Suisse is down $1.04. Right? I mean, they're just, I'm waiting for the bankruptcy note to hit on those guys. I mean, really. I mean, you saw Silicon Valley Bank had put in a chapter 7, 11, whatever. They put protection in there. They filed bankruptcy to protect against creditors coming after them and so forth. So, but when it comes to banks, folks, here's the thing. You know, you've got to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. Your local regional bank, we've got a lot of little ones in New York. One of them has bought up New York Bank Corp, I think it is, just bought up one of the New York banks that were going out. They just bought them up. You may find you get better relationship there when you deal with that person, you know, at that local bank. They know you, they're very friendly with you. I've got accounts in multiple states for our different businesses that we own. And my relationship is with one person who's in Nevada. And every little local bank in that area, whether it be in Nevada or in Wyoming or here in New York or wherever, all call and say, hey, we want to be a relationship manager. We want to help you in this and that. And their help is, if you bring more money into the bank, if you want to put your money into this type of investment product and so forth, that's their help, which to me, I don't need that help. I need help when there's a problem. Somebody hacked into one of our accounts and they were doing bill pay. They didn't get in my account. They somehow had used that routing number and account number and said, hey, this is the bill we got to pay. Now I got it all back. It was a bit of a hassle. But you've got some of that regional help in the local banks, that local help in those banks, whereas the bigger banks may become very standoffish. The Bank of America, the Chase banks, and some of those, right? Even the TD Ameritrade, the TD banks, maybe a little bit more standoffish. You may not be able to have that same relationship. May not be able to have that same relationship. When it's business, it's a little bit different, right? It really is about relationship. But when you're looking at these smaller banks, for me, I would say that I have a tremendous amount of caution right now on trying to gain the system by picking these smaller banks and trying to get a run from that bank. Oh, see what the Fed did, especially what if the Fed does raise tomorrow? And then within a couple of days, you find another bank going out, right? Whether you liked what the Fed did or not, the belief is we are going to crash the system. And this was one small bank, right? Silicon Valley Bank is not a huge bank, yet Roku, a massive company, had 25% of their assets in that bank. Tripp had told me that from a training he did in our inner circle, that they had 25% of the assets in the bank. And they weren't the only one, the only big company. They were just one that didn't have all of the assets in there. Right now, I may be able to come to you and say, listen, payroll is hung up. It's not our fault. Here's the letter from the bank that this is what's going on with our payroll company, blah, 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 blah. And you may sit back and go, well, I understand that. But someone's going to sit back and go, I don't give a crap. Man, I got a freaking bill to pay this week, and where's my check? Why did you have your money in that bank? Why did you use that bank? Why? Okay. I use a payroll service that uses Silicon Valley Bank. Someone asked, well, Rob, why didn't you investigate that? Really? Do you know the bank that your payroll service uses? Or do you know everywhere that your bank is investing their monies? Damn well you do not know that, unless you're an analyst, right? That's not happening. I'm going to get off of this symbol because it's driving me nuts how big the thing is moving. No, most people are not doing that kind of investigation. Now, we didn't have a payroll run. We had other monies and other ways to handle it. I would have gone ahead and just sent a payment from the bank because I don't have a bank account with them. It's just when I make payroll, I send the payroll to that bank, to the software, but to the bank. I send the dollar amount that's needed. If it's a $1,000 payroll, $100,000 payroll, whatever it is, you just send that amount there. You make payroll on Monday, you send the amount on Monday. Come Thursday, the check is there, or the direct deposit is there, right? So, but there were many companies that didn't have the luxury that we did, that if we had any kind of payroll going on that week, and it's a brand new company we just started working with. If we had payroll going on that week, we could have just paid it out of a different account, right? I would not have let my team ever suffer when it comes to income, period. Someone is missing a check, I go and I pay, fees to overnight stuff to them, or pay for wire fees and things like that to get it to them fast enough that they get those monies, right? Not everybody is that forgiving. And you have large companies out there that had the government not intervened and did what they did, there would have been riots from individuals. Understandable. I mean, it's my money. And I want it. Give it to me now. All right. All right. Erica said, oh my God, I forgot to mention that I absolutely nailed the trade on Meta last week. Thanks for your guidance on it. You got it. Like my credit unions always helps with fraud. Yeah. And there you have that local, right? I have Chase and Capital One as well. Yeah, big banks. Bank of America is in one of every 2 homes in the United States. They're used to us and we've been there for years. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Karen. Absolutely. Yeah. Roku. No. Yeah, still way over the $250,000 for Roku, not wise. Roku's payroll is more than $250,000. I mean, they got to get it from somewhere, right? Larger businesses do have some strategies. We do have different banks that we keep monies in, different account types, different entities. We can adjust things where need be. I'm incorporated in 4 different states, so I can make some adjustments and things where need be, right? But there are some limitations to what you can do and what most people do. I mean, I know a handful of seniors that have got, 8 figures in one account. And that's just who they are. That's just what they do, right? I'm not saying I agree with it, but it's hard to get them to shift that dynamic to do things different. So when it comes to banks, right? Don't bank on the banks, guys. I would be very careful on any trading you're doing on banks right now. It literally should be in and out based on the news, and you're done. And even that, everything was good today because of Credit Suisse. WAL was up today, and now it's down, right? So you got to be careful. That banking news, it's very finicky right now on the trade. So a little bit of caution on there when you're placing those. All right. All right. Let me actually close that down. I don't need that there. Jim said Roku has $478 million in SVB. Circle had $3.3 billion in SVB, according to Yahoo. Yep. Yeah. And there are companies like that again just are getting their heads handed to them. Now, don't get me wrong, even if that money is 25% of Roku, I really want to reconsider that little bank anymore. And now here's the problem. These bigger banks, the Bank of America's, the Chases, whomever, the bigger banks are getting phone calls from all these customers now saying, we want to do business with you. And some of the banks, David Faber reported on it the other day, I think it was on Friday, came back to them and said, hey, tell you what, we can onboard you in about 6 months. What? No, I need to do it now. Yeah, well, not with us, you don't. We don't have the capacity right now to do it to you, right? It's either that or it's you should have picked us first. You chose them over us, I'll show you, right? It's terrible. All right. What stocks you want to take a look at? We got a couple minutes left. Let's go ahead and take a look at what stocks you are interested in. Debbie, you're welcome. I saw that in the Q&A. All right, Brenda's got SPY. SPY that loved me. Oh, we're on it. Okay. So Brenda, right now on SPY, we've got that. Let me get rid of that fib because I don't want that in there. We've got that 391.40 level right now. If we fail, I'm looking for the fail, the retest, and the drop. 385 is my target zone. For me to want anything bullish, I need to get above that 396.5 level, above the highest moving average, wherever we're going to be at that point. But ultimately, I need to get above the recent swing high, which is that same 396.54, right? So I need to be up in that area on SPY. Let me actually switch this over to all symbols. All right, then we got Amazon, the amazing Amazon. Okay. All right, Amazon. Let's get a bigger picture. All right, so Amazon's in a bullish bias right now, not true bull, but bullish enough to take a directional trade. The 8 is above the 21. It's right at the 55. So again, not bullish enough yet. But right now, if we get the bounce off of the 55-8 combo, you've got room up to 99.41. There's room. Guys, listen, if I look now, Amazon, right? Here, let's do this. Let's go here and let's go to Amazon. Doesn't matter what price is, none of it matters for what I'm going to show you, okay? If I'm looking at Amazon today as a day trade and it bounces, okay? And what are we looking for? We said we had about 96.5 up to 99.5. So about a roughly $3 move in there, okay? So roughly $3 move. Let me see, this is too big. Okay. So we're looking bullish. What do I want to find? 65 to 85 delta. I've got a 69 delta, $3.83 would be the cost. Call it pay the full 385. I don't care. Excuse me. It's got a 69 delta. If we move $3 in our direction, so we go from the 94, we go 1, 2, 3, we're going to wind up with a delta of about 84, give or take. Right? So we get in on a delta of 69, we've got a delta of 84, call it a delta of 75 to make math easy. So if you're moving $3 and you're not going to capture the whole $3, you're going to get 2, right? You're going to get 2 of it. By the time you get in, by the time you get out earlier before resistance, you get $2. If that's the case, you got a $2 move, you're up 75 delta, $1.50, right? Very small bid-ask spread, so I'm really not worried about the bid-ask spread in there. $1.50 on that trade that you, per contract, that you invested $3.85. Right? So there, and this is Monday. What happens when you do this on a Friday for the same Amazon and you're paying $1.75, $2.25 for those contracts? There's such a minuscule price in there, right? Amazon told off another 9,000 people today. Yes, they questioned them. Why didn't you announce it the last time when you did the other layoffs? Like, I got to announce every layoff at the same time. These are people that don't have a freaking clue how business works, right? And they came back and said, we didn't want to wait for the analysis of that department to determine how many we had excess that we could lay off before we did the other layoffs. So now you tell the shareholders, because we didn't have everybody done all at once, it cost you an extra $1 billion in less revenues this year because of that. That made sense. Because you should do it all at once. Right? What happens if business gets worse for them and they have to lay off again? We're not allowed to because we didn't do it all at once. So Erica said, so what's the trade setup for Amazon? So the trade setup would be the bounce off of that 55-8 combo, Erica, which is right now 96 quarters. So 96 and 3/4 or so would be again, you got to look at the intraday candle. You can't just go what the price is. You'd have to look at the Amazon candle and determine, is this the bounce I want? So I probably want to be above the moving averages. If you decide to take that trade, I'm not saying you should. If you decide to take that trade, then we've got a resistance level built in at 99.41. So you're going to be out at 99, 98 and 3/4, somewhere around there, 98 and a half, somewhere around there. You're going to pull the trigger, call it a day at that point. All right. So let me know if that helps on that, Erica. Got it? All right, perfect. And then Qs, I've not done as well on the Qs lately, just haven't. Good move, here on Thursday, but I couldn't catch that. It was too big of a move for me to want to take it. And it just destroyed the market. Just really nice push to the upside. $300.76 is support, Brenda. I'm looking for the bounce off of that with 308.70 as resistance. If it breaks the 300 level, I'm going to sit back, position one in the chair, and I'm not taking anything on it at all. All right, I hope that helps, Brenda. Karen's asking for big airplane. I love me some Boeing, man. These guys, there's some great opportunities on them. So right now we're in I can't tell you what bias we're in. We're close. Looks like we might be neutral. 203.28, 203.34. Yeah, so we're 6 cents into the neutral's bias, right? So, but we've been up there. We stretched up to the 21. We've pulled back, right? I like this to the downside. I'm really not excited about it to the upside. Again, lower highs, lower lows, setting up in there, right? So it's overall bearish pattern to it. If you get the move to the downside off that 203.55, you've got a 200 level support. Just got to be careful. There's not a lot of wiggle room on a $200 stock, right? And then 197 is the next one below that. So I hope that helps, Karen. Kevin's asking for Tesla. Tesla. All right. We got invited over by a family member's house over the weekend for game night. Some friends came over. It's my brother-in-law's house. Some of their friends came over who we know very well. Godparents of one of their kids, and so forth. And we got talking about Tesla, and we got talking about Elon Musk and how Tesla got started and what he's done and the companies that he has started and his brilliance and all of that, right? I love Tesla as a company, but I think the biggest reason I love Tesla as a trading company is because I'm a big fan of Musk, right? I think the guy is brilliant. He's the guy that he's the person that never studied in school type guy, right? Just always seemed to get it right. Every project he ever did was brilliant. That's how I feel about Musk. So right now we keep bumping our head here on resistance. We need a good close below that 180.68 or a good close above the 21 moving average. One of the or the other. Preferably right now in the bearish side. If we do, we close down here, I don't know, 175, 178, somewhere around there. Come on back up, retest that 180 half level and fail. And 162, 72, 82, 19 points. We don't need a fib in there. 162 is our support. I would probably look at my support as, well, my target as being above this recent swing low on Tesla. Right, Kevin, I hope that helps. Erica's asking for Roku since we brought it up, right? Why not? Roku. Still like them as a trading company a whole heck of a lot. Let me see something. Not there. So very low price stock. Right? Well, it's been a while since we took a Roku. Oh, there we go. I just saw him. $4,600 on 20 contracts in one day. $4,600. 20x. We did 56 and a half, the $3 move, $4,600 on 20 contracts. I like it. Now you don't have to do 20 contracts. You do one. Oh, here's a Roku. This one I thought I was looking for. So that Roku, we were down a little bit, $3,000, right? 3,500. I'm not worried about it. We're still up 310 grand for the year, plus our open trade. So it's actually 326. These are the trades from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week. Put that back over the R. Let me see what questions I missed. Okay, they're symbols. All right. So I'm a big fan on Tesla, big fan on Roku, right? We've got that 60-11 on Roku. We've already made the move. I mean, we're there. We've had that move already today. It's hard. If I get the bounce and I can get a move up or retest and the bounce there, 63 half to 66 half, yes. But right now, I needed to get to one level or another, get to the $60 level, break, fail, and drop. Get to the 63, fail, retest, and drop. Break the 63 and a half, retest, and bounce. Right? Those are the setups I would look for right now on Roku. I just don't see it coming today, Erica. Tripp's asking for AMD. All right. So good, strong move, Trip, on AMD. We're looking for the pullback to that 91 with the 8 moving average in there in the bounce, 91 to 102. 11. Yeah, we need to split that level in half. Actually, that would be an 882. Yeah. You got to watch that 882. If we get the bounce, you got room up to 100, but it's not a lot of wiggle room in there. IBM, I've been moved. Trip, IBM's the easy one for me right now. It's all downside pressure. Get down below the 125 level, retest it and drop, and you're looking at 121 half as support. I like this one a lot. Let me make note of that, Trip. Thank you. Y'all thought I was here to help you out, right? Y'all are here to help me out. You're giving me candidates to potentially trade. Actually, it is a two-way street. If I see something, why would I not take advantage of it? All right, so Micron, MU. Kind of mixed signals right there, Trip. I mean, we're within the 25 percentile, so yes, you could take the bullish entry. I just don't like what the last candles have looked like, particularly Friday's candle in there. So if you break the 56, it's an easy downside. 53 and a half. If you bounce off the 56, you got 58 and a half. All right, I hope that helps, Trip. QQQ is Paula. Whew, okay, let's see. So on Qs, did we did Qs, right? We did Qs. Yeah, I think we did Qs. No, we didn't. No, we did. It was Brendan put it in. Yep, so we did it. Okay, got it. Did Roku, Nvidia. Loving me some Nvidia. Erica, you got it. So guys, Nvidia was a great potential today. If you look at the 255.05 on Nvidia today, 255.05 right there, right? We broke below, right? If you're looking to take the downside entry, if I'm not, because we're in a bullish bias, right? So what are we waiting for then? We got to close above, a little bit of a pullback and a bounce. And, you know, we're talking 255 right now. It's at 257, almost 258, right? So it's almost $3 move on the stock right now. You didn't get all $3 of it, but overall, I like it a lot. So on Nvidia, that 255, you've got room up to 265. All right, Eric, I hope that helps. Karen's asking for Costco. All right, overall, lower highs, bottoms holding, descending triangle setting up in here. Boy, I wish we had a little bit better setup around those moving averages, Karen. The overall pattern is bearish. The easier one to find a trade for would be bullish. And even there, you're going to get above the 493 and 500 is your target, right? It's your stopping zone. So we break the 484.69, we got 476. You got $8 move, but you're in the middle. So I'm a little concerned there. Yeah, I would be a little cautious on this one for sure. For sure. All right, so two things, right? Go ahead over to tradinglikeaboss.com. Get registered for Key to Be Free. Easiest way to do it is right there. You can register with the Trading Coaches Playbook at the same time, right? So that's number one. Number two is to get registered for the Monster Market Movers, which is Wednesday night. Again, we've got a strategy that we're teaching there, which is a Fibonacci strategy. So you're going to learn, last month we did the strategy. We spent over an hour, a quarter, half, just on the Fib strategy alone, on how to trade it. So Lee has dropped those in. I'm going to leave the room open a couple of minutes. With that, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Take care, and I will see all of you on our next update. All right, everyone, go ahead and grab those links. Bye for now.